Today we're talking with Grant Folkamer, who is a Canadian director and producer that has also worked and lived in China for 8 years. Hi Graham, nice to meet you. Thank you for talking with us today. So tell us about your experience in China. When did you go there and why did you choose to work in China?
Well, originally I went to China for school. It was an American school that I went to in California. I was doing my MBA, and so I spent a year there, and then my second year was relocated to Hangzhou, Suzhou, Nanjing, Guangzhou, and then Beijing and Shanghai. And in my mind, I wanted to be in business, so I picked Shanghai because I felt like that was the economic center of China at the time.
What kind of city do you think Shanghai is?
Shanghai is the fashion, luxury. It drives the economy in China. It's very diverse with its population, from Western people to people from all over the world. It's got, its own food. It's got its own language. People are tough. They're very business-oriented, entrepreneurial.
Do you know any Chinese brands and what are your impressions of them?
I think Chinese brands have started to become a little bit more popular. For sure, Huawei, and then China Mobile, which I imagine is a pretty big. Li-Ning, which I think is a shoe company. Alibaba, Tencent, Taobao. People might know those to a certain degree.
Yeah. So after being in China for all these years, how do you think China has changed?
I think China was changing even when I was living there. China changes every day. Some of the bigger things that you see change would be the infrastructure. You could be in one area of the city 1 week, and the next, you went there a few months later, and the street would be completely different because of new businesses coming in, or new building being put up. The change from in 6 months was just astronomical in Shanghai with all the development. I also think that China's connection to the world, to the rest of the world, how it's opened up much more since when I first got there, has been something I've noticed a lot in terms of, like we said, the name brands that are now a little bit more accessible around the world. For example, I think Taobao, there's a North American version of Taobao. It just shows you that the expanse and the opening up and the accepting of the fact that China is part of a global environment.
So if you were to introduce China to your non-Chinese friends, how would you introduce it, and what and where would you talk to them about?
I would try to give them a diverse experience, because China is a diverse country. Whether you live in the north, south, east, or west, or central China, people are just a little bit different all the time, and they do their own things, and they have their own foods, they have their own stuff. So obviously Shanghai, because those are my stomping grounds, and so I can show them a lot. I probably know the city better than some people. Besides Shanghai, I would probably take them to Beijing, go to the Great Wall. I would go to the Silver Palace, the Forbidden City, Guilin, down further south. I would take them on the Lijiang River on a bamboo raft. I would have to take them to Chengdu and go see this Xiongmao. And then Chengdu, the food, go for a hot pot. One of the things people don't really realize about China is not only is it a diverse, massive nation, but it has really it has anything from it's connected to the Gobi Desert, to the steppes of Mongolia, to some of the highest mountains in the world on the western side. So it's very diverse.
Yeah. So as you said, you worked in media when you were living in China. So as a media personality, what are your thoughts on the Western media's portrayal of China?
I believe that no matter where I have lived or where I've been in the world, everywhere there exists a certain amount of bias, right? When it comes to Western media being biased about China, well, it works both ways. And I think every group has an agenda to a certain extent. You can never be completely unbiased. I like to say that I try to be as unbiased as possible, but when you look at the news, even in America or Canada, you have CNN and you have Fox. I mean, they're going to be speaking up for the people that they're trying to support. And the cultures that we've been raised in, right, to value different things and in different ways can affect our bias towards something else. When I started working for Shanghai Television or SMG in China, and so you just have to learn how to work within those parameters, and so it's not a very surprising thing. So there were certain policies to follow, just like anywhere. Whenever you go into a new country or a new business, there's a different culture, there's a different way of learning how to do things, and I think you just have to go in with an open mind, and so things are going to be done a little bit differently.
And last question for you is, do you know anything about the Belt and Road Initiative?
I'm familiar with it to a certain degree. I don't know if I know everything about it, but I'm pretty sure it's like a global infrastructure development strategy adopted by the Chinese government 10 years ago, or maybe less than that. And its objective is to invest in 70 countries and international organizations. I believe it's just China's way in like an initiative to expand and connect and to globalize the Chinese economy and culture and connection and all that kind of stuff.
Are there any new projects you're working on as a director-producer you'd like to share with the audience?
There's not a new one. It's a few years old, but we did this one project called The Suitcase, which was about immigration from China into Canada, and it was all in Mandarin. So we did that one, and it was a lot of fun. It's a short, yeah, and it was in film festivals all over the world, and it won several awards.
Sounds awesome. Well, we wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors. Thank you.
Bye, guys.